We're taking a look today at the A10 webcam from Okio Labs. This is a 4K webcam with an ultra-wide angle lens, a Sony Starvis sensor at f1.8, giving the camera a crisp 4K picture, but to top it all off, the webcam also has AI auto-framing. I've reviewed other cameras with similar specs, but what makes this one different is that it is the most budget-friendly webcam that includes all of these features at just under $125 at the time of this recording. And these are nice specs on paper, but will it hold up? Let's tear into it and find out. In the box we get the webcam, paperwork, and a cheap tripod. The USB cable is a little over 6 feet long, and it has a toggle switch for physically turning on and off the AI auto framing feature. Camera setup was simple enough. Just plug the camera preferably into a USB 3.0 port on your computer, and for me it was instantly recognized in OBS Studio. The camera also had easy plug-and-play compatibility with Zoom, Microsoft Teams, Skype, and Discord. So right out of the box, with no modifications made and with everything in automatic settings, this is what you can expect this webcam to look like. And I've got a lot of light in the room right now. I've got some lights on over here, I've got lights on over here, and I've got light coming in from a window over here. So overall, this is a really well-lit room right now, but I gotta say, out of the box, without any changes to the settings made for this webcam, I'm pretty impressed. I've reviewed a lot of webcams, and most of the webcams right out of the box don't look this good. Now, personally, I'm not a fan of wide-angle webcams, and this thing is a super wide-angle webcam. I don't like wide-angle webcams because it pulls in a lot of clutter like what I've got over here that I might not necessarily want to be on camera, but that's not a fault of the camera. The camera is doing what it's designed to do. That's just a personal preference on my part. I also think that the image of this camera looks a little bit overexposed in auto mode, but that's not something that can't be fixed with manual settings in OBS or with Okio Labs camera control software. I also probably would set the white balance to manual on this, but I think overall, as a automatic setting on a camera goes, this picture looks pretty good. And here I've used the Okio Labs camera control software to take the exposure down one level, and I've manually set the white balance, and I think overall this looks really good for my needs. Like I said before, I think the automatic mode on this camera was fine, but if you're super picky and you want your camera to look super dialed in, this is the way to do it, and I'm glad they provide this software. This is also something that could be done in OBS Studio in the camera control settings in OBS as well, but having the option for other programs like Zoom or Skype or whatever, it's nice to have that Okio Labs software if you need it. And as I mentioned before, this is an ultra-wide lens on this webcam, so it will give the fisheye effect that we see here with the straight lines that we can see in this video. And even though the fisheye effect does drive me nuts, I don't worry about it too much because it's something that can be corrected in OBS Studio with a filter. And this is what this camera is going to look like in a low light setting. I've got my window curtain shut over here. I've got the door shut, so no lights coming in over here. The only light I have on in this room right now is a desk lamp that I've got up here, and it's pretty dim right now. Other than that, I've got my computer monitors on, but overall it's pretty dark in the room right now, and this is what the camera is going to look like. Though this camera can record at a 4K resolution, we are capped at 30 frames per second, no matter what resolution mode we're using. And for comparison's sake, this is what this camera looks like next to the Nexigo N660p webcam. Both cameras are set in 1080p mode, and both cameras are set in automatic mode right now. I think this is just a good baseline camera comparison to see what kind of video quality you get out of the Okio Labs webcam. This webcam has a smart framing feature that up to this point in the video I've not been using, and I've actually not been able to use it because I've got the input resolution of this webcam set at 4K. If I set the input resolution down to 1080, we'll see that the smart framing feature will start to work on its own. I'm going to switch that over right now. So now that I've got the webcam's input resolution set to 1080, the auto framing feature should start working on its own, and the easiest way to test this out is to grab this whiteboard that I've got here and play a little game of peekaboo. And that seems to be working out pretty well. So now I'm going to test the auto framing as I move around the room. This should simulate the kind of framing that you can expect as somebody would move around maybe in front of a whiteboard giving some kind of presentation. But this is what you can expect the auto framing to do in these kinds of situations. And as I come in closer, we're going to see how long it takes for it to frame me up and zoom in and out and see what the kind of performance looks like. So now I wanted to take a chance to see how the AI auto framing is going to perform with two subjects in the frame, but for that I need the assistance of a boy. Hi boy.
Hi man.
So now I've got AI auto framing toggled on, and I'm going to grab my trusty whiteboard and we're going to test this out. That seems to work out pretty well. I'm going to get up and walk behind the door over here and see what kind of AI auto framing the camera does at that point.
No, it took me to do a little bit of movement.
So overall, I think that did a pretty good job of framing two people in the shot, and thanks for your help, boy. I should have you in more videos.
I'm getting paid for this, right?
And up to this point in the video, I've been using this Yimi USB microphone to record all of the audio for this video. Now I'm going to switch over to the Okio Labs webcam, and we're going to do a test of the built-in microphone of this webcam. Mic test 1 2 3, mic test 1 2 3 4. This is a test of the built-in microphone of the Okio Labs USB webcam. I'm about an arm's length away from the webcam right now, and this is what the microphone sounds like at that far away. And now I'm going about 6 feet away from the microphone, and this is what the built-in mic of the Okio Labs webcam sounds like at about 6 feet away. And since this is a conference room webcam, I'm going to go back a little bit further. And here I am at probably about 8 feet away. And this is what the microphone is going to sound like. So my final thoughts on the Okio Labs A10 webcam are that you get superior video quality and top-of-the-line AI auto framing with a bad microphone. It's kind of to be expected that a microphone on a webcam is not going to be very good, but this one really takes the cake for being a bad webcam mic. Other than that, I hope I gave you enough information to make an informed decision whether this is going to be a good product for you or not. And I do want to point out before I go that I am in no way affiliated with Okio Labs. They did send me this product to review for free, but that in no way has affected my opinion of the device. This has been a fair and honest review, and all opinions expressed in this video are mine and mine alone. But with that, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thank you so much for watching. That's it for now, and I'll see you next time.